is Stella Francis. Welcome to Our Heritage. Our Heritage is a program cut across Nigerian culture, cultural festival, food, music, dance, location, history, etc. Culture is a way of life, including acts, beliefs, and institutions of populations that are passed down from generation to generation. Once again, my name is Stella Francis. I am your host on 91.3 FM Radio Maria, the voice of truth. The program is Our Heritage. Our guest speaker, and if you like, my co-host, Mr. Jeremiah Ogumbamowa Oladipo. Mr. Jeremiah, you're smiling.
Oh, well, you are welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. I guess you don't like how I pronounce your name. Wow. I need to learn how to pronounce this Oladipo. Oladipo. Okay, so today on Our Heritage, we shall be talking, by the way, Happy African Day. Today is African Day, Mr. Jeremiah.
Wow. It's a good day for the whole African to rejoice for coming today in these days. For over 60 years now in existence, which they have come together to unite themselves as one. So I will say Happy African Day, National Day, to all our listeners and all our viewers, both in and outside Nigeria.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jeremiah. The theme for African Day 2023 has been selected by the African Union, AU, as accelerating of AFCFTA implementation, the African Continental Free Trade. Yes. AFCFTA is a trade agreement that aims to further the continental economic integration by establishing a single market for products and services. Mr. Jeremiah, do you think is that the case? Have they achieved this aim that they had in mind when they established?
Oh, actually,
the AU?
It's still in progress, because the trade agreement which the African Union are trying to put in place is just maybe there are some that are suggesting that maybe we can have a same naira value.
Correct.
To ease our trade between ourselves in Africa. So I believe that it's still ongoing. By the time everything is concluded, I believe Africa will not be able to eat themselves. You will now know that we are both brothers and sisters that have come up from colonialism. And
okay.
So,
but are you excited about the progress so far?
Yes, I'm excited about the progress so far because of first of all, I will like to say we have to give kudos to the founder of this OAU. Formerly it was known as OAU. Yeah. Before it was now being called African Union in 2002, in July 2002.
Correct.
So we have to give kudos to Dr. Nkrumah, the former Prime Minister of Ghana then, who initiated this move of coming for the whole Africa that has gotten independent, because from the problem of colonialism and apartheid and economic liberation. So since that time, at least, he has really tried his best, because as at then, we have 32 states, 32 countries in Africa that merged together. But presently, we have about 50, according to UN, we have about 54 countries in Africa now that so has been an African Union.
Yeah, almost everybody in the continent, are they members of the AU? No, just a few.
You know, just a few.
Okay, I don't know. I don't want to go there, but there was a certain controversy with the football match during the football match. And
Oh, yeah.
belong to AU or not.
No, that is a football. Football is
football politics. Okay, we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, the conversation will continue. Please stay with us. So why did they do? They are in Africa. Why are they talking about they want to do this? Because it's Saudi Arabia.
That is. Don't let us go there. They are still part of Africa. That is in Morocco.
Thank you for staying with us on 91.3 FM, Radio Maria, the voice of truth. The program is Our Heritage. Our guest speaker, Mr. Jeremiah. We have been talking before the short break. We were looking at African Day. Today is African Day, so shout out to all Africans out there, and I hope that we are celebrating in one way or the other. And if you are not celebrating, there are different ways you can celebrate, Mr. Jeremiah. Grab some African music. Boom, you're already celebrating.
Wow. I have come of age that with this present day that Africa is celebrating of freedom from the fight of colonialism and even the exploitation of their economy. I believe this day today making it 60th day. 60th year.
Yeah.
It has been long so far. I believe that by now it should have been something that the whole Africa should declare a public holiday for this kind of occasion, because you will now have a thought of looking backward of when you are under a threat, when they are exploiting you, making you as a slave trade, when all this, but well, I don't know how the African leaders will still come to that. Maybe one day they will now know it that any day that is a day like this, make remembrance of this day when Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was able to initiate this thing and come together. Maybe they will make it something more important for the whole Africa to know that this day is their day.
Okay, talking about the great guy, the great personality that put his thoughts together, and it has come to this celebration. I like to say that why we celebrate the African Day celebration, the anniversary of the Organization of African Unity. This holiday, which is formerly known as Freedom Day and African Liberation Day, commemorates not only the founding of the OAU, but also its role in bringing the African nations together.
Yes.
So yeah, like you rightly say, the aim also is bringing Africans together.
Yes. So I believe that when the unification is there, actually the unification is there now, because you can now see that from the way they have started, they have now developing, moving the leadership of the union, moving it from one country to another. At least they are rotating it, so that for the country, so that every country will be able to know that they belong to Africa in sharing common goal and common unity. Most especially when you are talking about culture. When you look at Africa as a whole, we have something in common when it comes to culture.
Yeah, that brings me to my next line of thought because I was going to ask Mr. Jeremiah, do you think that, I know the African continent itself, it's very large, and we need some time to get the kind of unity that everyone desires.
Yes.
But let's look at, do you think African Union, sorry, I beg your pardon, do you think the West Africa have done well, given that we're Nigerians, and the relationship between, whether it's Chad, whether it's Ghana or Togo, do you think we have done very well?
Well, don't let me give kudos to one part or the other, but all in all, I know that West African has really initiated a lot of things in Africa. So the only area in the North African, I will now say they are the one that are making, maybe drawing us backward in some aspects because of some of the underdeveloped country under that North Africa. So, but as a whole, at least with this African Union of coming together, coming as a one, fighting for one goal, fighting within ourselves, so that at least there will be no, you cannot say, if I move from here to Kenya or to Morocco, which those are the north side, so that you will not, there shouldn't be discrimination among us. So far we are all Africa.
Yeah, so, but yeah, you know, Mr. Jeremiah, I've been to Chad before, and it was almost as if I was in Nigeria, because right from where I attended the program, right from where the accommodation, I met someone who was speaking Hausa to me, and I'm like, okay, yes. So
Chad,
it's not different after all.
You can see a lot of
I got to the market. It was difficult to make purchase, but I had option. They asked me, do you speak Arabic? I said no. Do you speak full food? I said no. And then they asked me if I can speak Hausa. I said yes. So there was option for me to pick and choose. So it was almost as if okay, I'm home. Yeah. So I like that fact, and I've also been to a couple of West African countries, and I enjoyed some of the meals, even Ghana, for instance. Although
Ghana,
the fufu, it's a bit different from what we have, but at least you could relate and recognize that this is this, and how it made, so it's not far from what we can say we can eat.
Yes, when you come to the African food as a whole, when you go out, you will meet different food. When it comes, that is why we are saying Africans as a whole are very rich in culture.
I agree.
African as a whole are very rich in culture. I hope we'll continue with this in the later year, maybe when all of us will be able to understand each other very well. Not somebody moving from Nigeria going to South Africa and start killing ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. That's sad, but you know, I don't know, but the West Africa, it's very popular, and since we're talking about
West Africa can be so peaceful among all the Africans.
Yes. I was in Ghana, and one of my friends from Ethiopia, and we're excited to party in the West African zone, and they were really looking forward for
coming,
experiencing the party in West Africa, and I would like to say that they were a bit disappointed, and then but I told them that it's different from Nigeria, and then what my friend was like, look, Stella, in their country, that we use your West Africa, we use as an example, we use your music to party all night. But I am disappointed. So I told her not to worry, that anytime she have the chance to visit Nigeria, she's going to compare the two. But I tell you, we had 1 hour ride, but all that time she had Nigerian music, different Nigerian music, until we got to our destination. And while we're going back the same, she never repeats any song, and I was like, really, I can confirm that you really enjoy Nigerian music.
Yes. When it comes to in terms of music, that those who have a good lyrics, not the jamborees ones. any person which is not in Nigeria, even in Ghana, the Ghanaian, they enjoy Nigerian music.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, it was Nigerian music all the way.
So they enjoy it. Even in Togo, the Togolese there.
Yeah.
When you go there, because it is where I also have been, because I know most of the places that they are just, most especially when it comes to this fella music.
Yeah.
You will see it. We will even thought that some of them are even turned to a fella, how would I call it?
We have fella's shrine.
Fella's shrine. So that's why I say to some of the music that has a good lyrics, not anyhow jamboree music. So, but they really enjoy Nigerian music.
Okay, yeah.
Most of the Africans.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if we can put all this together, I think that African will get to where it wants to, like
sure.
the desired place that it was designed to.
The Kenyan music is also good.
Desired result. Yes.
Just because if you are able to hear some of the language, because in the Kenya they have about different languages.
Yeah.
So it all depends on which one.
So,
You just like in Kenya, just like in Maiduguri, that we have this Shuhara, and just that is the way it is in Kenya also.
Yes, talking about Kenya, I would say Asante Sana to you, Mr. Jeremiah. If you have been to Togo, you should be able to say one word in dialect. So
hello.
I challenge you to say something.
No. No, it's only when you want to say bonjour or bonsoir or voyage. That is when that is. Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the things that.
Oh, nice. So yeah, I've said my own Asante Sana and then Akwaba.
That is when you are talking about Kenya.
Okay, so we'll open the phone line so that our listeners out there also can call and contribute. How are they celebrating? And while after the phone lines, Mr. Jeremiah will also look at some of the things that people can be doing. The fact that it's not public holiday, but you can take a time out and enjoy maybe African music. But yeah, okay, I'll call the phone lines and I'll ask. The number to call is 081 084 475 18, 081 084 475 18. Call us and let us know what you think about African. What African culture do you know about, and which African country have you visited, and you'll be sure that you're going to tell us maybe one or two words or their culture, maybe food or something related to that country. Okay, so Mr. Jeremiah, he said that it formerly used to be the Freedom Day or Liberation Day.
Yes.
Why Freedom Day?
Freedom Day in the sense that it is. Let me just give you an example.
Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Michael.
Okay, Michael, please, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kabusa.
Okay, go ahead and make your contribution.
Yeah, the country I've been to is Ghana.
Okay. Okay.
Very nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
you've been to Ghana, Michael.
Yeah, but I've been to Linator.
Okay, so we should be hearing some Akwaba or something, and you're not saying anything.
Akwaba.
Okay, Akwaba. So, did you enjoy their food?
Yeah, my banku, I enjoy it so much.
Oh, okay, nice.
All
All right, thank you so much, Michael, for calling, and please stay with us to the end of the program. Mr. Jeremiah, even whether you have been to Ghana or not, I think there's Banku in Nigeria.
Yes.
Have you tried it?
Yes, we have. How would this guy call it? Nigerian jollof rice and Ghana jollof rice.
Oh, no. Don't even come there. This is topic for another day, Mr. Jeremiah.
So, so actually, when we are talking about Freedom Day, why is it Freedom Day? Is because it's just like a child is under you.
Okay.
You have been maltreating him, and at the same time, all of a sudden, you now say that tomorrow you are gaining your freedom. How will you expect? The child will be so excited that he is no longer under a slave.
I agree.
So as a result of that, it is being remembered as a Freedom Day for so many decades that law of different Mafassin or whatsoever, Lord Lugard, all these things, which we have been under, just like in Nigeria before we get our own independence also. So you will now look at it as, thank God that at least we are not under a slave trade any longer. So you will now feel that you are belong. You are able to now to make decision of yourself. That is why it's being called Freedom Day.
Okay.
And a liberation, because you have been liberated from who and who will be controlling you. Stay there, the law.
Okay, yeah,
So,
I agree that freedom is what everybody wants freedom.
Yes.
Even children, by the time you are not holding them, you see how they're expressing themselves.
Yes.
So I agree that freedom is something to celebrate. Call us and let us know what you think about the subject matter. The number once again is 081 084 475 18. 081 084 475 18. Call us and let us know how much do you know about Africa. Have you visited any African country? What African culture do you know? Can you speak any African language? Call us and let us know. So Mr. Jeremiah, some of the things that people out there, even though it's not a public holiday, one of the things that we could celebrate is safari, the safari.
Well, it may not be a public holiday, but at the same time, we have to let our listeners know part of our history.
Exactly.
Because what we are mentioning today is part of history that most of our children needs to learn and know. How do we come of stage to Africa, of us having becoming OAU, then from OAU we now move to AU.
Yeah.
So as African Union.
Yes.
So as a result of that, when we educate people on this, so that they will not even forget that this is how it was being it started from. This is how Africa were able. That is why you can now see the theme of this year. It's a theme that is totally different. So that African acceleration of African continental free trade.
Yeah.
So you can now see how are we going to harmonize ourselves in the import and export of our goods. What do you have in Nairobi? What do you have in Guinea-Bissau? What I did not have here, what you can be able to, you understand me now?
Yeah.
Then there will be each free of movement of one person to another. But the only area which I'm still looking at it that they have not come to conclusion is on which naira, which money, the currency,
African currency,
which African currency would they be able, would they use that we've fastened this topic or whatever. I know that these are what is going on, and when they have when they are going to have the head of state or the president meets together, you will see that this is what they will still discuss on.
Yeah, I think it's an ongoing conversation.
Yes.
There was a time they were talking about like having is it African I think what's their name now? Oh my god. They are talking about having what's this office in Asokoro?
Asokoro.
I can't remember what they are thinking of having a West African currency so that it can aid
just as we started our passport. You know, that is why our passport can move. ECOWAS.
This is what I was trying to remember. ECOWAS, yes.
ECOWAS.
ECOWAS.
The ECOWAS Parliament. You
Yeah.
can now see these even are the thing that brought all this commission when we come together in 1963.
Oh, yeah.
That is why I say they have gone a long way. Because before 1963, there is nothing like ECOWAS. But it is after this coming together as Organization of African Unity, that was why ECOWAS was being formed by the West African. Because
Okay.
it is only West African that formed this one first. So as a result of that, they developed from this so that at least the North and the East everywhere emulate.
We also emulate. Okay, thank you so much. But as something is pushing me to say, but I don't know the railway that is channeled to.
well, according to what our outgoing president said that he's running back to his I don't know whether he comes from Niger. So which the railway has already been channeled to Niger from Katsina.
That can be trade. Call us and let us know what you think about the subject matter. The number once again is 081 084 475 18. 081 084 475 18. Call us and let us know what you think about the subject matter. If you're out there, whether you are a parent, uncle, or auntie, you have a role to play today. You can take out, even if it's 10 minutes, to run through memory lane, history, trying to tell kids around you the significance of African Union. And if you are wondering what aspect of African Union you want to tell them, since they are children, you can tell them about the safari animals.
Yes, yes, sure. It's part of the African,
Yeah.
so that they will be able to understand what all we have in part of the African.
Correct.
So at least this is part of what, even from this free trade union that we are talking about, implementation. If this thing can come up, it will be easy.
Yeah.
For each and even including I and you to move around the whole part of Africa.
Yes.
So without having a fear of endanger or anything that anything can come up, you will not have any such fear. So you will be able to just say yes tomorrow, or that let me just like those jackpots. Jackpot is going out of the
Yeah, you can. Okay, so
out of the Africa, but move around within the Africa and know what is going on.
but yes, move on. But also you can educate people around you about it. Whether it's the map, I'm feeling generous right now, Mr. Jeremiah. It looked like I wanted to give away.